All right, family. We live with the general. You already know what time it is. We got that fire. We're gonna be talking about before YouTube when hip hop was the springboard for revolutionary thought. That's right, Black Revolution. We got some fire for you today, family. Before we get started, let me get it in here. I don't know why it ain't in here. Let me get it in here. We're gonna be talking about evidence. Hear me out. Or the modern troglodyte. Hold on, where is it at? There we go, right there. Evidence of the modern troglodyte. You got to buckle in for this one, man. This is real hard body, and you don't take it lightly. You see what I'm saying? It is fire for those that want to know the truth. Get over there, click the link at the top of the chat, and enjoy yourself. You feel me? Here we go, family. Before YouTube, so we talking about revolution. This is before niggas get on. It wasn't no YouTube. God damn it, YouTube didn't start to around what 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. This is long before that. So, nigga, if you didn't have no literature, or you didn't have no file information, and even the literature, it took a minute for the literature, for it to become mainstream, and it's still not mainstream. You see what I'm saying? But the culture then grew, substantially since, the elders then came out. But, the music, most definitely at that time had the youth more invigorated to read. You see, it was really the music that popped it up. But I was into the culture before the music. You see, I was into the, to the culture before the music. But anyway, when I first, when I start, hearing the, Public Enemy might have been one of the first one, but I heard, they was still had a little bit of consciousness here or there. You had groups like Stetson Sonic, they had a couple of songs here and there. You see what I'm saying on Africa and and things of that nature. But I think PE and X Clan and Rock Kims and those type of rappers was the first ones that came out and with the medallions. You see that medallion is very clear. Matter of fact, do I got that medallion? Let me put that medallion in there. I should have had it in there already. Let me see. And see the and no, like I say, nobody else had. And the thing is, that's Christ consciousness. You can't put nothing out and people just gonna accept it. You see what I'm saying? That was, this was accepted by really the mass majority of the people at that time. This was the primary uh, 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 genre of hip hop during these eras. Yeah, you had some, but even the gangster rappers had to come with a little consciousness. Even the gangster rappers had to come with a little consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Because the people was like they didn't want to hear all that disrespect. And here it go right here. Yeah, here it go right here. I guarantee you ain't gonna get. Wait a minute, let me get that off of there. I guarantee you ain't gonna get no nigga to put no United States on no chain and where unless you Coombe. You see what I'm saying? Unless you Coombe, but there it is right there. And so, this was when we were speaking highly of our sisters, when our sisters was rapping about being queens and goddesses. This is when this came. No other time in rap will you have that type or divinity for the sisters. No other time, not before or since. Not before or since have you had a respect for the black woman in hip hop on that level where we begin to talk about ISIS and all the African gods and goddesses in rap with the clan, and then just being, just taking it to the next level, showing that we was kings and queens of great civilization. No other time on all continents, not just Africa, but also in the Americas. Just like I said, Ivan Van Sertima came with they came before Columbus in 1976. You niggas was nowhere. None of you niggas was nowhere with nothing. All you niggas is born on YouTube, man. Y'all movements is born on YouTube. So the primary brothers and sisters that was bringing any type of knowledge on the divinity and the ancient excellence of our people as kings and queens ruling great civilizations and empires was the Pan-African community. This is a fact. Y'all niggas, and see, I hate to crush y'all like this, but you can never turn back, the receipts of the facts that we bring in here today, right? And then that's crazy because in 1990, Rakim dropped I think they dropped their third album. What was the name of that album? That was on the third album. I believe it was. What was that? Paid in Full, Follow the Leader. What was that third album? But that's the album he brought, The Ghetto. And then Too Short had a song that same year, The Ghetto, 19. Both of them dropped that song, but Too Shorts was called The Ghetto, and Rakim dropped the song In the Ghetto. You see, and so that just show you even Too Short came out on some derogatory shit. But even then, back then, he had to drop a couple conscious, coming out of Oakland, nigga. You got to drop something, nigga. You can't just be out there, biatch and all that's all that nigga. No, Paid in Full. That was the first one. The second one was Follow the Leader, and the third one I believe was it might have been Let the Rhythm Hit 'em. I believe it might have been Let the Rhythm Hit 'em. Yeah, Let the Rhythm Hit 'em. Yeah, but so even the West Coast rappers, you had Parrish out there. I think Paris he dropped in 1990. So this was really the classical golden age, of hip hop, where majority of them top, them classic, the ones that we consider the GOATs. You see, even goddamn Nas gave back. You know what I'm saying? Even Nas touch on the comedic. You see, when you talk about all the legends, you see what I'm saying? We can go on and on. Goddamn it, with Muhammad Ali, we already know went to Africa, went all over Africa. Bill Malcolm X, even though they try to steal, but they can't do it because Malcolm X, mother and father were Garveyites, which is clear. Where his mother and father was Garveyites, Pac too, Tupac, yeah, and I'm gonna talk about that too because Tupac and them come out of that was it the Black Liberation Army, with that they come out of they broke away from the Panthers and they was the ones they made that damn movie Dead Presidents, but it was way deeper than that. But that was kind of like, the backdrop, Dead Presidents. And then we ain't even talking about New Africa, you see. And we ain't even talking about New Africa, but we're gonna tap into that. We're gonna tap into that. But this was back when the music was revolutionary and we was connected in no other time. And you can't show at no other time because you niggas got it now. Look at when you disconnect from Africa, you can see what you got right now. You got some drill, kill. You ain't got no conscience. If that's the case, then you should be at your. If this is your indigenous culture, then you should be at your height. You should be at your height in consciousness. You at the lowest point of ever in hip. It ain't even no hip hop. It's dead. God damn it, there ain't even no hip. You can't even call this shit hip hop. This is I don't know what the hell you call it. You see, Thug Life too, but Tupac had that, you know what I'm saying? Thug Life too, Pac touched on some things. He touched on some things on that too. You know what I'm saying? But there was always and he said that his name gave him meaning, that's the thing about that one, the ones that broke away from the Panther, the ones that was on the East Coast, they had them African names. You see, them was the ones bringing that pain on motherfuckers. You know, the Asadas and the Matulas and all of that. You know, and the Tupacs. Them was the ones that had connection to African consciousness. Was the ones that was bringing that pain. The other ones was over there with that Mayo Tong shit. You know what I'm saying? Kwame Ture. You know, he went African centered. You see what I'm saying? You can't cut and paste and put no Chinese revolution on black people. You cutting and pasting. We need our own custom revolution. And so yeah, this was very powerful to be able to come back all the way up to dead prayers, even though, you know, a lot of these niggas went left, even though I ain't gonna talk about, but that just show you as soon as they disconnect from the power, you know, that's when you know, people get to looking crazy at your ass because now you done got weak. Tribe was there. Tribe was there. Tribe was there. They represented. They did. You see what I'm saying? But you know, they did. You know, but they wasn't the foremost. You know, they wasn't like Clan and fucking PE and shit. You know, they was spitting straight at your ass on every song. You know what I'm saying? Back then, PE and goddamn X Clan was the primary spitting dead in your goddamn face. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the Paris was spitting dead in their face too. Every song, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else, they had the influence. Yeah, they had the influence and they put a little something in there, but Clan and PE and Paris, and they was coming straight for you on every song, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Real, yeah. Brand Nubian was in, yeah. Yeah, Lord Jamar, yeah, he a cornball, and the other nigga cornball now. You see what I'm saying? Both of them niggas went kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? The other one, not Grand Pooba, but the other one. Not Lord Jamar, but the other nigga. And he used to have some, you know, back then the nigga was tight. I ain't gonna lie, they had some hits. But you know, oh man, it takes a nation of millions, nigga. That's like Thriller. You know, they has that might be one of the greatest albums, nigga. They not only is it one of the greatest rap albums of all time, nigga. They ranked that amongst the greatest albums. Sadat X, yeah. I went in on that nigga a couple times because he talking greasy. But anyway, man, it takes a nation a million, man. Oh, you talking about May, Mr. Wendell? You talking about Arrested Development? You talking about Arrested Development? Yeah, Arrested Development. Yeah, they had that was powerful what they put out. Yeah, that was very powerful what they put out. You know what I'm saying? That was very powerful in what they put out. Most definitely, they had some hits. You know what I'm saying? That really touched on that. But anyway, family, we just had to speak up for the culture. You see what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing for nothing. If you tell them to show your resume or what you use them, you just started yesterday, nigga. You just started yesterday. You ain't got. I ain't even get it. I did get into the books, but let's move forward, family. We got some more. Make sure you get over to. Matter of fact, let me get that one out of there, and let me get this one in here. Evidence of the modern troglodyte. Right there on Patreon, General SETI. Click that link at the top of the chat, and I'll be right back. Boom, Black Power. You say I miss dead prayers, yeah. But they got some hits. You can go back and put and upload. You feel me? Black Power.